Hello, my name is Layla and my film will be focused on the cam modelling industry. For my film, I will be discussing cam girls and the question of whether it is an empowering or an exploitative form of women's labour, using the theoretical frameworks of radical and liberal feminism. I will be interviewing cam girls and discussing their experiences in the cam modelling industry. Based off their answers, I will be discussing its place within the feminist spectrum. I will be using a structured interview technique. I chose this topic as the majority of studies on sex work focus on women who work in prostitution, overlooking the rapidly growing cam modelling industry and its female workers. As of March 2019, a Google search for a list of webcam modelling websites yielded 1,700,000 results. I will be looking at this topic within the context of feminism because of the debate across the feminist spectrum. It is a very uncertain topic, and as a feminist myself, I would like to learn more about the varying points of view that people have on the subject. The liberal feminist perspective focuses on achieving gender equality through political and legal reform. They place emphasis on promoting gender equality and banning practices that are discriminatory towards women. Their view on the cam modelling industry centres on women's self-determination, sexual liberation and empowerment. They emphasise the economic empowerment of sex workers, their freedom of choice and expression of their sexuality. The radical feminist perspective, on the other hand, argues that the social system is inherently patriarchal, which manifests male privilege, oppression and exploitation of women. Their view on the cam modelling industry is that by purchasing commercial sex, men take advantage of the subordinate position of women, which includes stereotyping women as sexual objects, property, and servants of men. In terms of finding participants for the interviews, someone I know works in the industry and can source participants by advertising on social media. She will be asking if anyone is available to take part in the interviews, assuring that their identity will be anonymised. Overall, I will only be interviewing 5 cam girls due to the length of the interviews as well as the time it takes to edit it all together. This is also as I would like to make it simple enough to fit into the length of the film. I will be doing this over Zoom. I will be attempting to get participants who are of different ages and who are in different categories. These categories represent the diversity of cam girls and reflect various customers' demands for the live shows, which will hopefully provide diverse and comparative data for the film. I will be keeping the identities of the cam girls anonymous due to the sensitive nature of the topic, and will also make it clear that they are able to withdraw at any point in the interview. Also, that they don't have to answer any questions that they are uncomfortable with. I'll be giving them the questions beforehand to look over so that they can prepare, and will also be explaining to them what the finished film will be about in case they have any issues with the topics I'll discuss. They can then make the decision as to if they would like to be involved or not. For the film, I will be taking the interviews and transcribing them to protect the identity of the interviewees. I will then be acting in the place of the cam girls and interviewing myself, wearing different costumes while doing this. I will use different wigs, different outfits, and change my makeup for each interview. In addition to this, I will be changing the backgrounds of the interviews to make the visual aspect more appealing. I will be doing all of the interviews myself in different costumes to stress the fact that it is a very taboo, secretive industry. It is also to emphasise the level of anonymity these women need to keep in their cam girl job. Additionally, this will also be to stress the performative aspect of camming. Gender performativity is a theory that argues that gender is socially constructed through repetitive patterns of speech and nonverbal actions that serve to define and maintain identities. Judith Butler first developed this theory. She sees gender not as a being, but more as a doing, an act or sequence of acts that one performs throughout their social life. Cam girls are expected to act in different ways based on the customer they are performing for, highlighting this theory. I was influenced by films such as Dr. Strangelove and Back to the Future 2, as in them, the same actor plays multiple characters. They are distinguished by hair, outfits, voices, and even prosthetics. In addition to this, I was also influenced by Louis Theroux and his interviews. This is because he makes documentaries about various marginalized subcultures within different societies and is not scared to talk about taboo topics. From my film, I hope to learn about the various experiences directly from female cam workers and hope this sheds some light on whether it is empowering, exploitative, or a mixture of the two. Characters. They are distinguished by hair, outfits, voices, and even prosthetics. In addition to this, I was also influenced by Louis Theroux and his interviews. This is because he makes documentaries about various marginalized subcultures within different societies and is not scared to talk about taboo topics. From my film, I hope to learn about the various experiences directly from female cam workers and hope this sheds some light on whether it is empowering, exploitative, or a mixture of the two.